Welcome to Shorty Supercoach and a bit of a non-Supercoach related video today. Of course, normally you'll find me talking all things Supercoach, but if you've been involved with the channel for some time, you'll know that I'm also following a career in sports journalism, currently writing for the Ballarat Courier, so feel free to go check that out, a bit of the work I do in the real world. But part of the career goals, I suppose, is to get a bit of radio work as well, and I suppose this is what the channel's all about as well, is trying to get more comfortable and confident and getting used to talking about all things sport just by myself, almost mimicking what they do in radio. So that was probably where it all started and why I wanted to do it. Obviously I love Supercoach, but would really love to have a career in radio, so I thought why not get a bit of practice in and get going on that sort of line of work in my own time. But last week did have, I guess, my radio debut, I guess you would call. Only a short little segment, sort of 5 or 6 minutes, just on the ABC. It just sort of came about being linked in with my work at the Courier. My workmate Tim normally does this little segment. He had a pretty jam-packed day. Thought I also might enjoy doing it. Handballed it over to me, and as you'll see throughout this video, I've attached the interview. It was a fantastic experience, and I thought you guys might be interested just to see and hear how that all went as well, because I know people quite enjoy me listening and talking about Supercoach, but I find it's always good to also have a bit of a chat about the personal life and a little bit of what I'm doing outside of just the channel, particularly because it relates in sports journalism. So for the rest of the video, you'll find that and how it all went. It was pretty much just talking about your general sport, national sport. We talked a bit of footy, talked a bit of tennis, and yeah, hopefully that's something I can do regularly. I was rapt to do it, really enjoyed it. Hopefully I'll get into the studio at some stage. Just did this one on the phone, but yeah, hopefully you guys will be keen to have a listen in and see how Shorty's going in the real world. But yeah, fantastic to hear what you guys think about it, and I'll chat to you guys soon.
This is Nicole Chavastek on ABC Radio Victoria. ABC Radio Victoria.
And it is time to talk sport with Daniel Short, sports journalist at the Ballarat Courier. Hello, Daniel.
How you going? Thanks for having me on.
What's on your radar today?
Well, definitely the football, I suppose. I mean, with the footy coming back starting last night, it was great to see it back, and plenty of footy come over the weekend as well.
Now, it was a match of some significance last night, wasn't it, between Essendon and Collingwood?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're a Bombers fan, you've been waiting for this game for some time. I mean, obviously last year all their players banned, and not to mention the few years prior where the saga seemed to draw on and on. So particularly for Joe Watson as well, I suppose. I mean, pretty special for him to get back out there after what he's been through, and I suppose there was a fair bit of doubt about him even returning at certain stages through last year and even as recently as a few weeks ago. How
did he perform?
Yeah, pretty well. I mean, I think he racked up nearly 20 touches, and then he just sat out the last quarter. And he looked pretty good. I mean, he looked in pretty good nick and certainly got a good reception from the crowd. I think in the second quarter he got an early touch at some stage, and yeah, the crowd got around him, which he would have been very pleased about, because I certainly think he was doubting his own future and standing the game at times. So, yeah, he looked like he was enjoying himself out there.
But still, Essendon couldn't get over the line.
No, they couldn't. They fell away late, but I suppose in the community series, it's more about getting game time into things and that sort of area. But no, they did fall away, and Collingwood, few super goals late, got them over the line. 7
players returned who had been banned because of the punishment as a result of the doping scandal. That's a huge return.
Yeah, massive return, and they'll be a new-look side in 2017. I mean, last year we saw a lot of their young players come through, and they were really promising, but I suppose the question this year will be how some of those guys who have had such a long time off footy return to the elite game. So Dyson Heppel as well returned, the new captain, so that was pretty good, and also saw their number 1 pick, Andrew McGrath, in full flight for I think about 3 quarters as well. So, yeah, plenty to be excited about as a Bombers fan, that's for sure.
And a big night tonight for Hawthorn.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jared Ruffhead returns to footy, another feel-good story, and, many times we weren't sure how Jared was going, but it's great to see him get through that all he's been through, and, I mean, to play footy at the elite level again is fairly unbelievable, I suppose, so it'll be fantastic to see him out there. and to lead the side as well as skipper is something that surprised a few. But yeah, it'd be great to see him out there as well against the Cats.
Tell me how dire it was when he was first diagnosed with this melanoma.
Yeah, well, man, it sort of sits you back in your seat a little bit. You really don't know what to think. Sometimes we look at these AFL players and almost feel they're invincible to an extent. You know, they're our role models and we watch them every week. But, yeah, I guess, you know, football becomes a secondary thought when you hear that sort of decision come around. So it's just great to see him back out there playing footy. It's great to see him in good health as well and in good spirits because he's a very likeable guy as well.
Yeah,
he's
wonderful, and I imagine that his presence will inspire his team to great things.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it'll be pretty inspiring just to see him out there, so certainly that'll be great, and he's a great leader as well. I mean, he's certainly got the captaincy for his great leadership qualities as well as being a great player.
Who are you tipping?
Well, I am a Cats fan, so I guess a slight amount of bias, I will be going slightly towards the Cats.
I bet you will.
It's more about, I'm looking forward to seeing a few younger players walk out, I suppose. I mean, at this time of year, a few of the older guys and more experienced fellas rest up, so it's good to see some of your new draftees and recruits and things like that. Jager O'Meara for the Hawks will certainly be one. Yeah.
Our much-loved Pat Rafter is giving up his post at Tennis Australia. Why?
Yeah, very interesting that. I was reading that today, and I don't think there's anything too sinister in it, but I think from what I'm reading, it was more just a decision to go another way and pursue other things in his life. But I guess you could probably read it the other way, that also he took up the role with hoping to change a few individuals in the Tennis Australia game, the bad boys of Australian tennis, I suppose, and that didn't quite come about, but maybe he's just felt he couldn't get through to them anymore, and maybe Wally Masur can do a better job of that. But I suppose even as recent as the last Davis Cup tie, Tomic decided to step away and not play, and I guess, it probably would have disappointed Rafter a bit. So maybe he feels his message isn't getting through as much as he would like.
Great to talk to you. Thank you so much, and go the mighty Hawks, Daniel.
Hopefully the Cats get it up, but thanks for having me on. Much appreciated.
Daniel Short, sports journalist.